We next headed back to our resort to get cleaned up and then proceeded to the Mauna Resort Luau, voted the #1 luau on the Big Island for several years running.
And here we are waiting in line for the luau at Mauna Beach Hotel at the premium seating check-in. We were going to the luau to celebrate my 66th birthday. We got the premium seating and were first in line and thus got the best seats in the house.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. We were front row center for this show and luau. We had a great time listening to the house band.
Chico?
Boston is 66 right now.
What's that?
Boston is 66 right now.
Do the hula if there's anything you'd like to say. It's the only way you'll find that a trip around the isle is fun. When you must be gone, talk about the moon above so high. The hoo-hoo-moo-nuka-nuka swimming on by. Talk about the boys all hurrying back to the little brown gal in the little grass shack. Do the hula if you like to whisper I love you. It's the thing to do. Picking flowers, guess them every time in the tropical climb. When you walk on the silvery sand, you never have to stop. Simply use your hand to the hula. Go into your dance. Ladies and gentlemen, aloha! Welcome to the Mauna Luau. At this time, we call ourselves Lankoholoku, and we share with you our meleha, our Hawaiian songs. On the steel guitar this evening, we have Mika Ellen. On the bass, we have Kale. On the guitar, all the way on the far left-hand side of the stage, is Papa Toa, as well as myself. My name is Kopono. It is our sincere pleasure to have you here with us this evening. Sit back and relax as we share with you songs and stories of Hawaii. Once again, welcome and aloha. Do the hula if there's anything you like to say. It's the only way you'll find that a trip around the isle is fun. When you once begun, tell of the moon above so high. The hoo-hoo-moo-nuka-nuka swimming on by. Talk about the boys all hurrying back to the little brown gal and the little rack shack. Do the hula if you like to whisper I love you. It's the thing to do. Picking flowers, get them every time in the tropical climate. When you walk on the silvery sand, you never have to stop. Simply use your hands to the hula. Go into your dance, oh, do the hula along the road to romance.
There's a luau going down on the other side of town, in the middle of a coconut grove in Waikiki. There'll be music all the night, lovely hula girls and handsome guys, in the middle of a coconut grove in Waikiki. Let's open up this coconut, shake a little bit of juice. Here's some rum just for fun, we'll be hanging loose. I don't want to tell if we fell deep in love tonight. Yes, in the middle of a coconut grove, it'll be alright. Yes, that steel guitar. middle of a coconut grove in Waikiki. There'll be music all the night, lovely hula girls and handsome guys in the middle of a coconut grove in Waikiki. Well, let's open up this coconuts and share a little bit of juice. Here's some rum just for fun, we'll be hanging loose. I won't tell if we fell deep in love tonight. It's in the middle of my coconut grove, it'll be alright. In the middle of coconut grove, it'll be alright.
Are you missing me? Like I miss you? Do you?
Mahalo kahakay. All right, if you are makau, if you are ready, you can go ahead. Ku iluna and hele mai kako. Come follow me over to the imu so we can experience together the unearthing of our pu'akalua, which will be served to you on our buffet line.
An imu is an in-ground oven and is the traditional method of cooking used on Hawaiian luau. Kalua pig and other delicacies on the luau feast slow roast in the imu. A roughly 2 to 4 foot deep hole, sloping sides, is dug. Kindling is used to start the fire, and the rocks are traditionally used as a base for the food to sit in. Between the rocks and meat is a bed of banana leaves, tea leaves, and coconut palm leaves, and a bed of vegetables that simmer in the juices of the protein, which at most luau's is a whole pig that will be shredded to make kalua pork. Another popular dish cooked in the imu is lau, which is fish and vegetables tightly wrapped in taro leaves and steamed along with the pig. The cooking process uses steam, which helps keep everything moist, in the case of the pork, incredibly tender. The whole process takes the better part of a day.
Brought your camera in case you
slow cook large quantity of foods at one time and are almost exclusively used for special occasions.
And then it was resolved far beyond the horizon in its resting place. These protocols acknowledge their intentions to manifest in order, to maintain the fine balance of spirituality and nature. Our awakening is summoned by the sound, the pool, the conch. Sound sent to the four cardinal directions. Ka'akau, to the north, or to the right of the eastern star. Kahema, to the south, following to the left of the eastern star. Kahikina is in the eastern realm, from where we see Mauna, and Keikumohana, the western point that leads to the sun as it sets on the horizon. Acceptance, inspiration, manifestation, love. These are the intentions that we place as we gaze into the eyes of the sun. Aloha. We invite you to experience our honored tradition. Happy birthday to you and you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. And many more. Happy birthday, happy anniversary, happy celebration, and thank you for celebrating with us here at
Luau food. And a dessert plate.
This is my plate of food from the buffet. And here is Mary's plate. Here is a plate of our combined desserts. This is from my perspective, and this one is from Mary's perspective. The MC presented the first part of a show which focused on Hawaiian history.
Brought from the depths of the seas, blown on land, once to the mountains, then to the sea, north, south, east, and west. a sound that gathered the powers of the universe. It could be heard in far distances, telling all that something important was about to happen. Now you hear the sound of the oli, or the traditional chant by the mea oli, or court chanter. They first call out an announcement of the royal party and the kapu, taboo restrictions that would be placed on the village district and its people. Profound respect and reverence were kept for the ali'i by rigid taboos punishable by torture or death. The royal ali'i were referred to as nalani, the sacred children of the gods, and anyone caught in the shadow of the king would be immediately put to death. The mo'oku auhau, or genealogical chants, were also recited in order to preserve the spiritual power of the monarch. These chants were proof of rank and gave an unbroken sacred lineage of ancient kings and queens that traced back to the origin of the gods. These court chanters were usually made up of junior members of the family. Historians in their own right, they would keep centuries of history and memory through oral recitation and dance for a culture with no written language until the mid-19th century. Following the court chanter is the kahuna ki'i, or the high priest. He was in charge of all spiritual affairs for Kamehameha. The kahuna ki'i's guidance for the ali'i nui during wartimes were his key to his success in battle. His suggestions were God-sent and were obtained through divine incantations and omens. Held high in his hand is a ki'iakua, the king's idol. These idols possess the mana of the ali'i, decorated with human teeth, shell, and hair. The ki'i presented here is Kalamainu Kihavahine, the lizard goddess, decorated with cloth of saffron yellow and carved in wood into a form of a dragon totem. It was said that through the spiritual powers of Kihavahine, Ku Kailimoku, the family war god, and Kalai Pahoa, the poison god, the Kamehameha was able to succeed in his conquest over the Hawaiian Islands to form the Kingdom of Hawaii. Idol worship was an important practice in the ancient times. Strict protocol and practice were performed to appease these deities in hopes for the balance of heaven and earth. These idols were prayed to, worshipped, and housed in the great heiau or temples throughout Hawaii. Next was the kahili ku, or the feathered standards. These were held by the pa'akahili, or kahili bearers, a symbol of royalty held high above the heads of the crowd to let everyone know where the royal procession was to take place. Smaller kahili, known as kahili pa'alima, or handheld kahili, were also carried by courtesans as a scepter of noble status and rank. Our mo'ikani, our king, represents King Kamehameha, who was a child of the Kohala coast here, born at Kapakai Kukoiki Kohala. King Kamehameha's birth was heavily shrouded in mystery. When his mother Kekuiapoiwa was with child, it was said that she craved the eyes of the Niuhi, the dreaded man-eating tiger shark. The king at that time, Alapainui, wanted to know why that was so. He called upon the kahuna, the priest, who gave him news that Kekuiapoiwa, his beloved niece, was to bear a male child, and he would be the slayer of kings. King Alapainui immediately sent out a decree to kill the child when he was born. His mother knew of this and made a secret plan to save his life. He was taken at birth by Naiole, a swift runner, and hidden away at Avini in the valley of Pololu until the age of 4. When his uncle Kahakavae'a went to Alapainui and told him the story of how he was raised, this softened the heart of the king, and he asked the child to come to court. He was later given the responsibilities of Kukailimoku, the great Hulu Akua, or feathered war god, and with that, he procured the talents of warfare, which aided him in his conquest of the Hawaiian Islands. The great Alexander of the Pacific, King Kamehameha Pai'ea. The Kalaimoku was a prime minister and advisor unto the ruler as well as the Kaakaua, defender or protector at arms. He carried out the words of the king and aided in the collection of food taxes during the makahiki season of the god Lono. He also carried the king's personal pololu, the long spear for his majesty. In ancient Hawaii, the Kalaimoku were well versed in strategies and maneuvers of war on the battlefield. These high councils played a crucial part in the order of the governing system. Among the 26 wives of Kamehameha, the two we share with you tonight were of utmost historical importance. Keopuolani, his most sacred queen, by virtue of her parents, a royal half-sister and brother marriage, a ranking known as Naha. Therefore, her and her offspring's mana was much stronger than Kamehameha or any other ali'i at that time. It was she who bore him Prince Liholiho Kamehameha II in 1797 and Kauikeuli Kamehameha III in 1814. It was these two sons that would inherit the throne after his death. Born in 1778 in Papohaku, Maui, Keopuolani's strong lineage of Hawaiian Maui chiefs gave her unquestionable political and social influence. It was Keopuolani that possessed the kapumoi or prostrating taboo, which required commoners to fall to the ground face down in her presence. It was said that Kamehameha himself had to keep his presence and his head lower in the presence of Keopuolani and their children. Following Keopuolani is Queen Ka'ahumanu. She was another favorite wife of Kamehameha. Born in a cave in Kauiki Hanamaui in 1768, she later became the Kuhina Nui, or the regent under Liholiho Kamehameha II. She was known to have influenced the changes to the kapu system of old Hawaii. Joining in a feast with Keopuolani and her son, resulting in the breaking of the ai kapu, or the eating taboos, in which men and women could not eat together. In April 1824, Ka'ahumanu would embrace Christianity, later changing the laws using Christian values. Centuries of taboo systems would be broken, and a nation changed by the ways of this powerful queen. Royal courtesans in turn were always escorted by their ladies-in-waiting. They were to ensure all wishes and comforts commanded by their queen. His Majesty Kamehameha wore a sacred mala or loincloth that depicted his divine lineage to the gods. Around his shoulders draped the ahu'ula, a cloak made of the feathers plucked from the birds of the forest, such as the i'iwi, the mamu, the apapani, many of the birds that are now extinct. Upon his head was a mahi'ole, a helmet worn in times of warfare, also made from sennet, and the feathers that matched his cloak. Around his neck was the most sacred symbol of high rank, the niho palaua. This was a whale's bone carved in the form of a tongue, the tongue of the god Ku. It was said, from the mouth of Ku lay all the law of the land. Thus they were the rulers of the land, the kings and queens of ancient Hawaii. His chief royal consorts wore stylish wraps of kapa cloth made from the bark of the mulberry tree. The bark was carefully selected at maturity and then pounded with wooden kapa beaters before being dyed and stamped with intricate designs. They were adorned with feather lace and sometimes niho palaua as well, depicting their status and rank. Ladies and gentlemen, let us present the Royal Court of Old Hawaii, the Royal Court of His Majesty Kamehameha Ekahi. We now begin the court protocol with the ho'okupu, or the gift-giving ceremony. The first protocol is the mea ai kapu, or food-tasting protocol. Since no morsel of food was to pass through the mouth of the ali'i, but through those who protected special mana, the food was carefully tasted by the kalaimoku and then presented for approval to the king. Now a separate eating house was prepared for the king and his men, as well as a separate eating house for the women. This was done up until the abolishing of the aikapu, or the eating taboos between genders. It was then that men and women were free to eat together, as we share with you tonight. We also share with you now the second protocol of makana, or gift-giving ceremony. Tonight the gift is offered in the form of the ancient dance called the hula kahiko.
Ke oe oe a e nei ana ke keke, pahu pahu, o wai mawaho. Te ruolo i tala i e, awale na ilu na pua ahulu nui e. E atua e i kalauki ele, hele i hamatua i tuile. Tuino e, ele ino mako a.
He inoa no te atua, ai, ahama kua au e ke kapali. Hamakua.
Hamatu e ke I kapali, ke uana ka waa, tamo o ka laibi ibi I ana ke kai tapali lau, momotu ana I ke o kai kahina hina.
Hamakua.
Hamatu e te I tapali, ke uana ka waa, ka mo o ka laibi ibi I ana ke kai tapali lau, momotu ana I ke o kai kahina hina.
Ho maui.
Ho maui ana I luna o ka pari lele I luna lele kola ka I ke alai ka ina pari e ho o mana vale hana o ka ui
Pale.
pale o ka ula e ho I hamakua.
He meleno, hamakua.
And once more, with the sounding of the poo, the court will take its leave. Such were the customs and traditions of old Hawaii. Such are the customs and traditions here at the Mauna Beach Resort, Old Hawaii, Aha'aina. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting you once again the Royal Court of His Majesty Kamehameha Ekai.
Next came hula lessons. Because it was my birthday and I was sitting in the first row, I was forced to go up on stage. Fortuitously, Mary did not take any videos of me learning the hula. Unfortunately, we are not allowed to photograph or film the dazzling hula and thrilling fire dances, which were the second half of the show. We were only allowed to take a photograph of the final curtain call, which we see here. Overall, it was a great ending to our last night on the island of Hawaii.